Oh, can you say that? I can't hear you.
What was it like last year, coming off a national championship and having the struggles this year? How'd you kind of compare that?
Uh, like the outcome of last year, it didn't turn out how we wanted to turn out. But I feel like we finished. I feel like we finished strong. And I feel like that's all important at this moment. And I feel like that right there going to help carry into next year as well. Well, pretty much this year.
Beating Ohio State in the final.
Yeah.
Can you describe what that meant mentally and what it means moving forward this year?
I feel like that game right there, it meant a lot as a like to our team. Also to the university as well. Going on the road at Ohio State and pretty much being the talk that we was going to lose that game because we was like what like 6-5 at the time, and I think 7-5 at the no 6-5 at the time. So I feel like when we came out, we pretty much told each other like we don't have nothing to lose. So like let's just go out and just try to like ruin that season and just dominate them as best as we can.
There was a video the other day where you're talking about Ohio State and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what do you think giving you guys command of the rivalry so far?
You said you said was giving us like the command. Uh, I would really say going into that game, that game right there means a lot to a lot of the guys who like in state. So I feel like when that game come around, I feel like it just shows like who's like the little bro, the big bro of the state every time we play.
What allowed you, even in a rougher season or down year, to have that success against Ohio State?
Um, like I said, it mean a lot to us, especially like as a team standpoint. Really just like the doubt of like everybody who had against us. So like going out there and pretty much just dominating them in their own stadium, that pretty much showed like how tough we are, and that right there is just gonna give us a good lead until this year.
You said a lot of people doubted it. Do you feel like the Ohio State players before the game thought they were going to win?
Yeah, for sure. Even like that morning of the game. So I woke up that morning. It's a funny story. I woke up that morning of the game, 6 a.m. And for some reason, I just turned on the news and just turning on the news and watching the news, and just hearing like a lot of people just doubting us, even from like our own fans was doubting us. So at that point of time, I feel like when it was time to go, we pretty much just huddled up, had a talk, and we pretty much just said, man, that's all we got. That's all we need. Everybody here, this whoever got on that bus with us, like this is all we need right here to go out and compete. Can you say that again? Yeah, all spring. So pretty much all spring we went against Bryce. Also JD as well. I say about both of them. I felt like they both great players. Bryce, he's not no average freshman, especially not no average 17-year-old. I feel like he do everything like a pro. He treat everything like a pro. Like pre-practice wise, he coming out 20 minutes, going over the script by himself. Just got his headphones on, going over the script. Uh, he's always in a facility. He probably one of the first guys in, one of the last guys out. He sometimes he be in there from 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, just in there throwing around with the receivers. So like, I definitely like everything about him, and also JD and the rest of our quarterbacks as well. So I like that. I like that entire room. It's gonna be a good quarterback, battle. But I feel comfortable with whoever out there.
Derek, remember Coach Mike Bosley said felt like he lost his locker room in part because of the money discrepancies between the players. So how do you guys keep that kind of stuff from pulling you apart?
So one thing about Michigan, like we not too much into like the material things or like money wise or anything like that. I feel like a lot of the guys who truly come to Michigan is because like they really want to be at Michigan, and I feel like that right there, like our brotherhood is something like I just can't explain. It's just something that you just have to see and be a part of. So I feel like when it comes to like NIL or anything like that, it really don't impact our locker room at all. I feel like we really don't talk about it or really be too much into it.
What was your reaction when you saw that they were giving a high school kid millions of dollars?
In the first, I mean, like in the first part about it, it'd be like, yo, are you really giving him like that much money? But, at that point, I feel like he deserved it. I feel like he one of the guys who, he worked his tail off for it coming out of high school, and also just seeing him and just seeing how the way he carry himself, that right there just showed me like he definitely deserved it, and I'm excited for him, and hopefully he makes some more money. So I. If I had a message for my high school self, um, I'd probably just say, enjoy life more. Don't take everything too serious. Get outside of like your shell, open up more, and talk to people more and being able to connect with people more. And that's it, really. Coming out of high school, I was always, an anti-social person. I ain't like really being around people, but a lot of the older guys, they brought me around, helped me break that shell, and now I'm able to, stand on, podiums like this now and just, speak highly about myself and also the team.
With all this talk about potential expanded playoff amongst the players, I'm curious, like, what kind of voice do you think you like yourself should have in this process, putting your bodies on the line?
I feel like now that like the playoffs like extended, um, when it comes to like spring ball and also camp, I feel like Coach Moore he do a good job of like making sure like the older guys, getting like less reps or like having like not that many reps in practice, just so like we can able to like take care of our body and being able to make it to the season. Cause I feel like Coach Moore he one of the coaches who knows how much wear and tear, how much running around that we do, how much stress that put on our body. So I feel like he do a good job of taking care of us.
Jeremiah Smith recently said he value Broncos to the machine. There's college reaction to that.
I ain't really got no reaction to it. All I can say is that is to see y'all in November. If that's how you feel, that's how you can feel. But when November come around and it's time to play, we're gonna see them.
123 Ohio State player
First, I would like to, I congratulate them on a win, but it's not no real win if y'all ain't beat us. So, but I'm gonna congratulate them on their win. But this year it's gonna be different. I'm gonna say yeah for sure. I was hoping for them to lose. But at the end of the day, they won. They deserved it. They worked hard for it. So can't take anything away from them.
What's your take on it months later?
So first, I'm gonna say I was one of the guys that was involved with it. A lot of people think I was trying to actually plant the flag. I wasn't trying to plant the flag. I actually was trying to just run around the field with the flag. And as me running around with the flag, I got pushed and things like that. So I ended up talking trash. Next, the flag ended up coming out my hand, and a whole scuffle, turned out. But looking back on that, I probably got like 2 views on it. I feel like I could have did a better job as a leader of like not letting that like get out like that. Pretty much just celebrating with my teammates and things like that. But at the same time, it's like I feel like that right there is pretty much why people come to Michigan or Ohio State is because of rivalries and atmosphere like that. I feel like that right there is going to be a good lead going into this year game.
When you said it's not a real national title if they didn't beat you guys, is it a point of pride for you and your team that you put that blemish on there after the season?
I really want to say it's pride. We just know like if you on either team or a fan or part of like either team, you just know how important that game is. And with this like playoff extension, if the playoff extension wasn't around, they wouldn't have won the national championship. So we pretty much look at it like, hey man, like y'all had a nice little easy little run, but we helped y'all along the way. So we pretty much helped y'all build back up, and But like I said, they after that game, they dominated everybody who came in front of them. So I gotta give all credits to them.
What do you think about the law that Ohio used to have?
It's actually crazy. For like a whole month straight, they had a picture of me they had a picture of me like with the flag on the field, and they pretty much just said like criminal or something like that under the picture. And I'm like, bro, wow, like I'm a criminal. I'm a criminal now just because I try to run around with a flag or plant a flag. I feel like that's actually crazy, but all I gotta say, man, hey, that's Ohio for you. That's Ohio for you, man. That's all I can say.
This TJ guy get slept on a little bit.
Uh,
Like, gives you confidence.
for sure. TJ, one of them guys who like I feel like if you're a younger guy, I'll for sure point you in his direction. Of, like, look at him. Like, TJ been here 5 years. 5th-year grad. He patiently waited his time. He had a lot of maturity. To like grow up off and things like that. I feel like now he's like he knows his worth. And I think he's just ready to just show the world like who is TJ guy. Just working out with him and working with him and talking with him. I feel like I learned a lot from him as well. And I just feel like he's just ready. That's all I can really say. I just feel like he's ready and he's definitely going to show the Big Ten and also college football who he is.
The Indiana game seemed like his best game. He was pretty dominant.
I'm gonna say really like I won't even say Indiana. I'm gonna really say Washington. I feel like Washington was the game where everything just popped. Minnesota game, Josiah got hurt and he stepped up and played a lead role on that defense that game. And then I ended up getting hurt and he came out Washington and then just went crazy and just dominated the game. But one thing about with TJ is like he know the defense so well. So we could put him pretty much everywhere. You can put him at safety, linebacker, put him at corner, D tackle. He gonna go out there and he's just gonna play and just perform. That's one thing I like about TJ. He just love football, and he love the game and he love to study the game. So I'm proud to play across from him, and I'm ready just to dominate every game with him.
Like Dom and Cam.
So Dom and Cam, I'm pretty much excited for them too, going into this year. And, like, with our defense, also our defensive line with Coach Espo, he like to, rotate us a lot. So I'm really excited for them guys to, come out, and also be in this rotation and also, stepping up and being, like, one of the leaders, like the leaders in their class. And, I feel like they worked hard for it. They grind hard for it. They kept their head down. They pretty much been a sponge since the time that they have been here at Michigan and learned from a lot of guys like myself and a lot of guys from the past. So I feel like them boys are just like hungry and just ready to play.
Do you remember what it was like?
Oh.
You played with Elijah Surratt in high school. Was that close at the time?
Yeah.
I just want to ask you about his career at all and kind of happy for him and his success.
Elijah, I feel like he was one of them guys who was for sure slept on coming out of high school. I don't even think he was ranked. Like, he didn't have, like, no type of, like, rankings or anything. Like, he didn't have nothing at all. And, just watching him, I used to always be like, bro, you're a dog. Like, you're a dog. I don't know why, like, everybody's sleeping on you. But now that he's able to, like, just go out and just shine and just, perform every Saturday the way that he does, it's just a joyful moment, and I'm honored to just say that, like, I played with him back in high school and things like that, even, like, just watching film and turning on, I just see him making a big play, I'd be like, bro came a long way, and I'm, happy for him a lot and also happy for his family.
What are the memories of the game you guys played together, or where he stood out, or what kind of come to mind?
I'd probably say back in high school, so we had a rivalry with IMG. I feel like every moment, of that game was a good memory, and I think I can't for sure if he had a touchdown that game, but I think he had a good couple catches that game as well. Yeah. All right, no problem.
Derrick, do you remember what the mood was like in Schembechler the day that Bryce flipped from LSU to Michigan?
I don't really think it was no excitement feeling. It was probably more from like the coaches. They were probably more excited, but from us, I feel like from like the defensive side, I feel like we was more happy because we was like, yo, we got a quarterback, and a lot of the younger guys that's also there, I feel like is also happy for them because they like, yo, like we got a quarterback for the next couple of years. So it was a little bit like, like mediocre energy, but I feel like a lot of excitement probably came more from the coaches.
Not that it's your guys' job to protect him. Obviously, he's fine. But like, is there anything that's like, hey, like this kid's 17, like we need to make sure that
Yeah. So, all right. So recently, probably like couple months ago, well, during our summer break. So sometimes, a lot of guys we like to get together and go play basketball. And walking in, Bryce was there, and I'm like, what you doing here? I'm like, you're not supposed to be here. I was like, hey, I was like, you're not leaving this ground. So, you know, I feel like we do a good job of, like protecting him and also giving him good advice, because he pretty much like he worth a lot. So we got to make sure that he knows, and I feel like he already know, but I feel like we got to do a good job of like reminding him that like, bro, you can't do too much. Like, yeah, yeah. And if you do play basketball, no jumping. That's it. Like no jumping at all. But we do a good job of reminding him.
Derrick, I'm sorry, I just walked out, so you probably won't be able to question
Oh, fine.
But what kind of kid is Bryce What's he like?
Uh, what kind of kid he is when he first walked in, and to this day, I feel like he's not no average like 17-year-old. He real humble. With a lot of money that's coming in, he pretty humble. If he do anything wrong, he take full accountability of it. You don't really hear too much trouble out of him. He do everything like a pro, take good care of his body. He put in a lot of work. He one of the first and last guys that I always see in a facility. And pre-practice wise, he always is out there, 30 minutes before practice, just going over the script by himself, no coach at all. And I feel like that's not no average 17-year-old. Like for myself, coming in, I wasn't the same. I ain't had the same mindset as him, but I feel like he got a good head on his shoulders. Yeah. I'm gonna say he definitely I'm gonna say he won the defense over for sure. He won me over. He won Coach Wink over. Coach Wink pretty much get on us like bad. Like stay away from Bryce. Don't touch Bryce at all. If you get any close to him, we got here from Coach Wink. But I feel like he won all of us over. But
What do you do to win you over?
for me, like if you're a younger guy, I pretty much like go off like the energy you give out or your mentality or like your body language. I feel like he haven't give out any like bad body language. I feel like every day he come in just work his tail off. He do a good job keeping the offense going. And, he don't bring any trouble at all. And if you gotta get on him and tell him do anything, he gonna just do it. No back talk, no nothing at all. So that's what he won me over by.
How much stress did the defense feel last year without
Thank you.
without a Bryce?
I mean, it was stressful at times, but I feel like we can't point any fingers at anybody on the offensive side or at ourselves. I feel like as a team we all got to stay together, and last year I feel like the defense we just try to do our best job to get the offense the ball back the best we can, and anytime if it was a turnover or anything, we just went back out there and just try to get the ball back again. So that's all really.
So many people on the outside just expect Bryce to come in and be the starter, deliver wins and all that. How do you see him all those that pressure and those expectations?
How do I see him? I feel like Bryce is gonna do a good job, handling all of like the negative and positive comments that's gonna come his way. I feel like the biggest challenge for Bryce is, at some point in time this season, he's gonna face adversity. And that adversity is pretty much gonna show some type of growth to him. whether it's him or another quarterback, in the room, So all I can really say is, that's it. I feel like at some point in time they're gonna, as a team, we really gonna face adversity. But I feel like Bryce gonna handle it well, or any other quarterback gonna handle it well, and also the team gonna handle it as well. No problem.
What goals do you have? What have you set for yourself this season?
I'm gonna say my goals and then team goals. From my goals, really just going out and just being a player that I know I am. Going out there and pretty much setting the standard for the team. And just really yeah, that's it really. And then team wise, I say make sure we win every game, win the big games, the games that matter for sure. I feel like every game has mattered, but we gotta include the rivalry games. Going to the Big Ten, winning the Big Ten, going back to the playoffs, winning every playoffs, and also winning a national championship. So I feel like that's the team goals.
TJ, obviously, giving up you two are, but Cam Grant and Dominic was kind of next up. What do
Yeah.
you like about their game? What you need to know about them?
Oh, so when you look at Dom and Cam, I feel like it's a little bit similarity to like me and TJ. You feel me? I feel like me and Cam, we're like the more heavier ends, on the bigger side. Then you got TJ and Dom, who more the speedy ends. And so I feel like when you look at us, you see a little bit of like similar in them. I feel like Dom, he got a lot of growing up to do, but I feel like he has matured a lot and things like that. And I feel like he's ready to go out and perform. Cam, quiet guy, don't talk as much, pretty much soak everything in like a sponge, and he just learned from a lot of us, and he also he willing to like just go out and just learn every position just so he can be on the field. So I feel like both of them guys are hungry. I feel like they ready to play, and I'm excited to watch them play on Saturday.
I know Bryce has gotten a lot of attention. Who's a freshman on defense that we'll know a lot more about in a couple months?
That's a tough one. My my favorite freshman, I would say Benny Patterson. He played defensive tackle. When you look at him, he don't look like a freshman. He look like he been in the program for a while now. Real thick, swole, dense, and really explosive. So I feel like he gonna be one of them guys who gonna definitely be in a rotation this year and gonna have a good impact on his defense. Some of my strengths as an edge rusher, I would say my tool bag. Really, I haven't been able to really go inside my bag last season, but I feel like once I go inside my bag and just pull out a lot of different moves and show everybody like what I got, because a lot of people think I'm just a power rusher. But if I'm able to really just dive deep into that bag, I'm able to show everybody what I'm capable of doing. Ooh, I'm gonna say 4. I'm keeping it short. First I say Myles Garrett. More so my style of rusher. Big, thick. I'm not gonna say thick, but like dense guy. Can bend well. Say Hutch. Got to throw Hutch in there. Speedy guy. He can pretty much. I really, if I look at myself, I probably look at Hutch. Hutch can go inside his bag really deep. He can go power, he can go finesse, he can go speed, anything. Go Max Crosby. Just the motor that he brings and his hand fight is everything just so good. And then also, this might not be a lot of people's favorites, but this more than my favorites because I kind of like grew up off of him, just watching college football. Chase Young. I would say Chase Young, just because like I said, same body similarity, and just like how the way he just can switch up his moves, go power, go speed, or finesse really.
You mentioned your bag.
Um, I feel like I haven't really added anything. I really just been like trying to like perfect my craft really. Um, and really thinking about last year, I'll probably just say like reason why I didn't pretty much go in and like dive into like my bag as much is probably because I wasn't comfortable with myself at the time. At certain times, I feel like I'd be trying to just, I be just trying to just do my job most of the time instead of trying to like make plays. But I feel like I gotta get out of like that zone and just try to just just be confident with myself. And I also talked to my position coach and Coach Wink about that, and they pretty much just tell me, man, just go out and just play ball. Whatever happens, happens. Just line up next play and just run it back.
Is that a product of the defense, or is that just something personally?
Uh, I really feel like that's something like product of the defense. Like this defense so well to the point where it's like if somebody not doing their job, it creates some type of hole in the defense. So everybody so held on or like doing your job, but sometimes you gotta get out of that and make a play. Sometimes.
How much of that whole game transaction there? How much of that set the tone for this offseason for you?
I feel like it said a lot, Going into that game, well, really all last year I was dealing with an injury. A lot of people ain't know about. But going into that game, I just really felt all the energy that people was giving off, on Michigan at the time. We was going against an Alabama team who was pretty much playing with their entire team, and we playing with a team of, like a lot of young guys who stepping up. So going into that game, I just told myself like I gotta be able to, put the team on my back and make some type of plays and find ways to, dominate this team the best as I can. The most difficult moment of my career, my college career, I would say my freshman year. I feel like coming in as a freshman and being in a room that I was, being in a room that I was in, and just watching them guys, and pretty much just being a sponge, and also being a freshman, like you come in, you want to play, you want to get on the field right away, but me not knowing at the time, I feel like I wasn't stressing the process. When you first get to Michigan, all you hear is stress the process, stress the process. Your time gonna come. Just be patient. And at the time, I wasn't being patient. But if I can go back and talk to myself like my younger self, I just tell myself be patient, and that's pretty much something that I overcame. Pivot moment. Oh, life so far. I don't think I really had one. Can't really say. Can't really think of anything right now. But I'm gonna just leave it as that.
Max said that no offense is eager to sort of rewrite their script getting into a new year, as they are this year. This was talking about how it felt great to end the season with 3 straight wins, but 8-5 is still sort of unacceptable. I guess what is your mentality about just a new slate and maybe from national championship to 5 losses to maybe get the right a different finish?
Yeah, pretty much just like they said, 8-5 is not the standard. Coming into Michigan, that for sure wasn't the standard. When I came in, we was coming in, 2-0 against Ohio State, making it to the playoffs and also winning the Big Ten. And then, also to be a part of that was also, honor as well. So I feel like we got to keep that going on this year and just pretty much just play off last year energy of like a lot of doubt and just keep it going, really.
And then what do you see in this quarterback? Like there's young, very young talent.
What I see in the quarterback room, just like competitiveness. You see each guy just working, but each guy just working at their different levels. You don't see anybody like down talking anybody or anything. You almost wouldn't even think that there's a quarterback battle going on, how close them guys are, but they all stick together. They just compete each other off, and they also give each other good advice, and they just work hard.